Day 19, Miut Ta'anug. Minimize your physical pleasure. We all recall the Mishnah. Actually, it's not a Mishnah, but it's part of our Perek, one of the previous halachas and Perek Vav of Masechet Avos. Kachi darko shel Torah, pas b'melech toichal, mayim b'mesura tishto, al oretz tishan, v'chayei tzar tichye. V'yem uve Torah ato omel, em ato voisikein, ashrecho b'yolam hazeh, v'toiv lecho, la'olam haba. This seems to be extreme. Pasma melech toichel, bread and salt. Mayim b'msura, a limited amount of water. Sleep on the floor and live a life of pain and suffering. That seems to be extreme, and we know that our giants of Musa, giants of Torah, always chose the middle road, the road of moderation. Rashi's interpretation of this halacha is not that is the way to live. Rashi's interpretation is even if you will need to deprive yourself, you won't have enough food to eat, you won't have fundamental comforts, you would not have a comfortable bed. Nevertheless, you still need to strive to learn Torah and to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even in those extreme consequences. That is the interpretation of Rashi. It is not that we need to try to deprive ourselves from the fundamentals that are necessary to a normal and decent life of moderation. But many times when I speak to my Talmidim, I say, Pas b'melach, mayim b'mesura, are relative concepts. In our day of abundance, in our age of plenty, pas b'melach could include a layer of butter, some jam, you could have some avocado, some tuna fish spread, and maybe some peanut butter. It still would be defined as pas b'melach. Mayim b'mesura, a bit of Coke or orange juice, here and there a shluck of whiskey, still would be defined as mayim b'mesura. Ala oretz tishan, you could have somewhat of a normal mattress. But what is eternal is the central message. Chayei tzar tichya uveTorah ato omel. Dedicate your life to Torah, to Kiyam mitzvahs, and don't strive for earthly pleasures. The Rambam in Perek Gimel of Hilchos Talmud Torah, and I want to quote two different halachas. Perek Gimel halacha tes in Hilchos Talmud Torah, divrei Torah nimshu l'mayim, shenemer hoi kol tzamo lechu l'mayim, lomar lecha, ma mayim אינן מתכנסים במקום מדרון אלא נזחלים מעליו ומתקבצים במקום משבורן, כך דברי תורה אינם נמצאים בגסי רוח ולא בלב כל גבל לב, אלא בדקל ושפל רוח שמסאבק באפר רגלי חכמים. And now the Rambam writes, Umeiser hatavos v'tanugei hazman milibo. Meisir hata'avot v'tanugei hazman milibo. He removes from his heart all other taivas and earthly pleasures. V'oseh malacha b'kol yom ma'at kedei chayav. And then the Rambam, in Halacha Yud Beis in the same Perek writes, אין דברי תורה מסכימים במי שמרפו עצמו עליהם, ולא באלו שלומדים מתוך עידון ומתוך אכילה ושתייה, אלא במי שממס עצמו עליהם, ומצער גופו תמיד ולא ייתן שנת לעיניו ולאפיו תנומה. אמרו חכמים דרך רמז, and the Rambam stresses, this is only a remez. זויסה תוירה אדם קיומס באויל, אין דברי תוירה מסקיימס, אלא במי שממס עצמו באוהלי החוכמה. So basically, one cannot strive and try to achieve many earthly pleasures and at the same time really achieve the highest levels of Chokhmah. In Shabbos Kuf Mem Zayin Omed Beis, Chazal tell the story of Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. Rabbi Elazar ben Arach was one of the greatest disciples of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, one of the greatest Tanaim of his era. And he went to a town called Diumsus, and he enjoyed the bathhouse, the sauna, whatever it has to offer. And once coming back from the bathhouse, he opened the Chumash. I assume it was Erev Shabbos, and he was doing Shnayim Mikro V'Yecho Targum, and it was Parshas Boi. And instead of HaChodesh Hazeh Lochem, he read Hacharesh Haya Libam. Well, that's strange. Instead of a Chodesh, he confused the Dalad and the Reish. And he said Hacharesh. Instead of Hoya, he confused the Yud with a Zayin, and he read Haya. Instead of HaChodesh Hazeh. And instead of Lochem, he mixed up the Chof and a Beis. And instead of HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, he read Hacharesh Haya Libam. That sounds strange. Many of us enjoy life. We play sports, we go to the sauna, we go jogging, we spend some time in restaurants, we enjoy a good drink and maybe some spirits. And still, we could read the Siddur, we could read the Chumash, you could even be a great Talmid Chacham. That was not nature. That was a remez that was sent to him from the heavens. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it happen. And instead of HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, he reads Hacharesh Haya Libam. And he understands what HaKadosh Baruch Hu was trying to convey to him. Shlomo HaMelech is offered by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, choose, make a wish and it will be fulfilled. Do you want riches? Do you want power? Do you want Chokhmah? And Shlomo chooses, V'notato la'avdecho leiv shomea. Leiv shomea is an open heart, a heart that listens. And I feel if there is a leiv shomea, there probably is a leiv charesh, which is a deaf heart. And that is the pasuk that Rabbi Elazar ben Arach mistakenly quotes. Instead of HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, Hacharesh Haya Libam, that is the message conveyed to him from above. You cannot afford to enjoy these pleasures. You cannot afford to enjoy the bathhouse and the sauna. You are designated to be a Gadol Hador. Stay away. Change your ways. And change his ways he did. And he was one of the greatest to know him. So it should be no wonder that one of the stepping stones on our quest to achieve greatness in Torah and to arrive at Har Sinai is B'miut Ta'anug. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful Shabbos.